So I have been a fan of Rush since I was in high school. I remember listening for the first time to the band and like being so excited to show my dad, because my dad had introduced me to a lot of classic rock bands through CDs that he had, but he didn't have any Rush, and so I felt like I had found something that myself, and I thought that was really cool. I have 2 Rush records that I wanted to talk about. My first one is my favorite Rush album, one of my favorite albums of all time, Grace Under Pressure. I feel like Rush kind of don't get enough credit for how catchy they can be and how concise. I think that some people, when they think of prog rock bands, think of long and winding and kind of pointless and just long for the sake of being long. But their albums are quite short, and this is a reasonable length. This is a Korean copy, and I didn't realize this until like way too late, but the track list is quite different than the track list that most of the rest of the world heard. And so, if you take a look, if you're a fan of Rush, I'm curious if you'll see anything different. So, first of all, it is 1 song shorter. It is missing Red Lenses. The song, there he goes, I See Red. And basically it's like an anti-red scare song, kind of against the people who see communists everywhere, or at least see their enemies everywhere. And so knowing that this came out in the 80s, and Korea was not exactly a democratic country at that time, and also was very, very, very anti-communist, at least in terms of the government. So that's interesting. It still has all the other songs, however the track order is different. So it's got Distant Early Warning, After Image, The Enemy Within, and Kid Gloves on side A, which is like Kid Gloves. What a run of songs. Kid Gloves is one of the best Rush songs for sure. However, my favorite Rush song of all time is After Image. Wow. Suddenly You Were Gone. Such a sad song, but there's so much power to it. This album, by the way, the lyrics feel very immediate, and for a, Neil Peart was famous for writing lyrics. And at least on this album, it feels very much direct, but still poetic. And so they create these images in your head, barbed wire fences, pouring rain and such. It's great. Side 2 has The Body Electric, Red Sector A, and Between the Wheels. For a long time, Between the Wheels was my favorite. It's still one of my favorites, but After Image is hard to beat. But it's just fun. Whenever I realized that this was missing a song and had a different track order, I was like, oh, I have to talk about this. I have to mention this because I thought it was so neat. But yeah, Grace Under Pressure, fantastic. I got this for like $10, and it's in great condition. Awesome. My other one is A Farewell to Kings. Not quite as exciting of an album cover, personally, for me. And I think the album cover always kind of put me off of it. Like, whenever I think of like my favorite Rush albums, this one doesn't come to mind. Even though, like, if you listen to it, it's like, yeah, it should be one of the best. But also, I'm a little bit prejudiced, so you're not going to see some of those early Rush albums in my Rush ranking. I got into Rush through like 2112, but not among my favorites personally. And their one, Caress of Steel, is like probably my least favorite Rush album. Not a good one for me. But I feel like this is the moment when Rush really got it all right, because from here onward is just A+, record after record. This is interesting as well. The track list is not different, it's just separated differently for some reason on the Korean release exclusively. I believe Closer to the Heart being on side 2, if I recall correctly. In any case, it's not as big of a change as Grace Under Pressure, that's missing an entire song. But I thought that was interesting to see that. Yeah, this is like 2112, but like way better. So like 2112, yeah, it's great because they're like finding what works for them. You know, Fly By Night, they're getting more and closer to what works for them. But this is the one where it's just like all locks into place, and from here on over it's great. Every single time I see this, I always hesitate. I'm like, should I get this? It's like a CD box set of like all the 90s records. I think as Presto as well, maybe, which by the way, kind of underrated maybe. But all of those up to maybe Snakes and Arrows. I don't remember exactly. But I'm always curious, like, should I get that CD box set? I don't know. Anyway, I'm really happy to have found these two because they're really cheap, and also just it's cool to have the Korean version of these two albums. Two great albums. A Farewell to Kings and Grace Under Pressure. Keep on rocking in the Fizz world.